Hello everyone, it's Emmy and today we're speaking about scissors for my Gwen cosplay. This is not really a tutorial but more of a walkthrough how I made them. So without further ado, let's start. Here you can see the reference picture I used. The first step was creating a blueprint. I used Say, but you can use any sort of software that allows you to draw clean lines like Adobe Illustrator. It's even possible in Photoshop or GIMP or any other software. Next step was creating a solid base. For this I used PVC pipes that also connected one with each other so I would be able to split the scissors for easier transportation. Since it's plastic, I was able to shape them with the heat. So with the base done and blueprint ready, I was able to trace everything on styrofoam. Then I took the PVC pipes and traced their placement onto the styrofoam. Then I cut those spaces out and attached the PVC pipes with hot glue and a little help of a tape. Then I got a little impatient and covered the front and back with foam, but later I decided that I wanted to also add lights, so I had to reverse this step and get back to the styrofoam, and it was a little mess, so don't put foam on at this stage. And here's how the attachment worked. There was one PVC pipe that was horizontally put, and this little piece was put into it, and both of the sides of scissors were connected with this pipe. I also used some magnets to help with the attachment. And here was the first snip test. This is part of the costume, but you can also see how large the scissors really are in comparison to my clothes. And yes, not only was I not supposed to add foam, I also cut all of the edges to help with sanding, so it was way harder to get rid of the foam. And as I spoiled you beforehand, I decided to add some lights. For this I had one LED strip that had already battery pack soldered to it, but it was not long enough and it was in a warm color, but I was running out of time a little, and I also decided to be smart and not work that hard, but maybe I was working a little hard because I decided to cut the strip on various places and connect it with the cables we had lying around. And how to make it cold instead of warm? Well, I used this plastic cover for notebooks and plastisode. But I was really happy with the final result, so yeah, no damage done really. Yes, it definitely looks hideous right now, but everything is gonna be covered in the foam, so it does not really matter that much. So here you can see that I cut the plastic foil for a notebook and added it onto the lights, and here I draw all of the cutouts I wanted to do. For this I use soldering iron. You can use wood burning tool, or you can even cut them out by hand, but I'm not that skilled of a crafter, as you can probably see, so I opted for the soldering iron. But hey, they do light up. So, next phase was my absolutely favorite one, quote unquote. Sanding. and priming. And I cut some details. I also used a ton of foam clay to cover all of the mistakes and little cavities I had there. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. It hurts me a lot to see this process. Of course, I revisited everything in later stages and I even added more foam to cover all of the edges, but yeah, it really looked hideous at some point of time. But yeah, after lots of priming, it was time to add spray painting. I bought 2 different shades of blue, so I would be able to create a gradient more naturally. And I also knew that painting this with brush or sponges would take a while and obviously would not be as clean as using spray. And I believe we can now all forget that it looked hideous beforehand. Also, this was the final look before the first competition I had with those. Yeah, I'm not the best crafter out in there, I'm better at sewing and even better at performing. So, before my second competition with Gwen, I decided to step up my crafting a little. I created a paper pattern for these diamonds that are on top of the scissors and cut everything out of EVA foam. So this is what I was trying to create. Here is a little speeded up video of me putting all of these diamonds together. For all of the edges I also used quick seal, craft filler or even foam clay for a smoother finish. I cut all of the parts on angles so they would create the diamond shape and would not stay flat. And here is the proof that I did indeed cover all of the edges where the styrofoam could be seen with more foam clay and then sanded all of it down. Added a little foam clay here and there, and yeah, should have done this way sooner. I also added stronger magnets for the connection because during the day the blades kept falling apart and they were not as stable enough. Also, by the dust you can see that I have spent 3 or 4 days just dremeling the paint away, so I would be able to once again hand sand everything and add a primer and then spray paint it. I used a similar process than I used for New Diamonds to also create her needle. Spent lots of hours just priming it. And this is the final touch for the reworked parts. This one looks way smoother and better than the first try did. Here you can see the old and the newer pieces. I definitely improved as a crafter, and you should always come back to your work and rework it if you're not satisfied with it. So I will end this video with a little light test on the scissors. Have a nice day!